to Martha's Vineyard. So heading into Martha's Vineyard, I took the ferry boat coming in. It's a little island just off the coast of Massachusetts, very near Boston and Cape Cod. Is a little look at my view at the place where I was staying, the hosts that were having me there. So let's take you to the farm. This is heading over to Misty Meadows on the island there, and I'm going to share a little bit of the facility with you and share some confidence building exercises of what we did during the clinic. So here's a little look at outside at the facility. Just thought it was such a beautiful facility, and it was actually donated to the people that are running it now, the organization that's running it. And so they've got this kind of courtyard area with a pool. I was like, okay, can you take the horse in there and swim? But it is a human-only pool. But here it gives you a little look at one of the aisles in the stalls. Our little classroom was over through there. And here's another look at the more main aisle that they use. And so they do a lot of programs here for a lot of different things. They do some therapeutic riding. They do some equine assisted learning. They're really all about promoting the connection with the horse. So that was really fantastic that everybody's already kind of ready to learn. And there's a little look at the indoor arena, and here's another little look at the space coming into the area there. So beautiful facility and beautiful concept of really trying to pair humans with horses and learning about the connection. Hey everyone, we are in Edgartown at Martha's Vineyard, and we're going to go for a little tour. So I was really fortunate that my wonderful host Pia took me on little kind of road trips after the clinic each day, and I was able to kind of see a little bit of the area. The island isn't super large. I think she was saying it would take roughly 40 minutes if you wanted to drive from one end of the island to the other. And there are a whole bunch of different little towns. So she was just kind of showing me different areas. There's a lot of water. Well, it's an island, so obviously a lot of water, but also just with the little pathways. Here's one of the little hotels that they were doing some work to, with a lovely view of the water. And so that was kind of nice. We had a few really nice days that after we were done the clinic, we could go for a little bit of a drive and see a few little things. Really just kind of beautiful scenery. And I was there just before busy season, so I think in another week or two, the boats start going in the water, and then tourism is kind of in the summertime. Beautiful sunset going on. And here's another look at one of the other towns. She was calling this the gingerbread houses. So in a second, I'm going to take you a little closer so you can take a look and see why, but just kind of a little view of the park going out over to the water. So much open space considering that it's a really, it's not a big island. So these are the gingerbread houses, and she said they're called the gingerbread houses because of the detail that kind of goes into them, the same way that a gingerbread house would. So I took a couple video clips of a few of the houses. Here's a little drive by on one of the streets there. So the houses are really cute, little walkways in front, and then there's kind of parking spaces in the back a little bit. They are kind of, close together, but super darn adorable. I felt like I was kind of walking through a theme park, like I was at Disney or Orlando Studios or some Universal Studios or something like that. But it's real life, and people live there. So really adorable. And just a sunset off of the host's backyard there where I was staying, with the sun going down there. So beautiful. You can watch the ferries as they come in. And one more little look at the town, the gingerbread houses across the way. And then we're going to jump into the clinic and take a look at some of the confidence building that we did. So this was the Become the Center of Your Horse's Universe course. So we spent a fair bit of time learning the calm connection exercises. And then what I love to do after everybody's really comfortable with them, and we've done them a couple times, is we do this confidence building test where I am a distraction. Here I am with the big red ball, and the students get to choose whatever calm connection exercise they would like to do, and the goal is to keep their horse focused on them. So no staring at the distraction. They have to keep their horse's focus, and they all did super well. So then we start to up the ante. So you may notice it's noisy now. We've got water bottles crinkling. We've got pool noodles flapping. We've got balls rolling back and forth. So we only get to this point after we've done a bunch of the calm connection exercises and we've kind of built up. And there were some rules when they came into the arena.
Very nice.
Which was that most of the objects in there, they're not allowed to actually look at or touch. Like the horse isn't allowed to look or touch. And that's because when you go on a trail ride or something like that, most things happen kind of by surprise. You're not allowed to stand and stare at them. You're not allowed to go up and touch them. Think about like a flock of birds goes flying out of the trees or something like that. You can't go up and touch them, and sometimes it's not safe for your horse to turn around and look. So they were allowed to touch 3 objects, and otherwise they were just walking by or standing by and doing what we call the all-around game. So a good look at what that kind of entails, and then the horses making sure that they're not getting upset and they're using their calm connection exercises if they need to use their calm connection exercises. And the big goal here is, can they keep the horse focused on them and trusting them? And we were using positive reinforcement to make sure we reward the yes response, which keeps our horses motivated. And lots of different distractions going on. It's definitely super helpful when we have extra people in the ring that are able to move stuff around and create extra distraction and movement. We know that with building confidence with horses, there are many types of confidence. So you want to build up for movement objects, for stationary, scary objects, for sound, for things that move, things that are big, all sorts of different things that you want to get your horse more confident with. You don't want to assume they will all, just because they can handle, dragging a sled, that they'll be able to handle crinkling water bottles. So then that night we had a little bit of flooding. You can see one of the roads there. It wasn't all like this, but I just thought that would be kind of neat to show you that it wasn't all good weather. There was some colder, rainy days too. So after we do a lot of our groundwork, then we focus on the riding. And so the nice thing about the calm connection exercises is that you can do them on the ground, but you can also do them in the saddle. And this little Palomino that I'm filming here, this horse in particular was a bit of a spaz case on the first day, and they weren't sure how he was going to be under saddle as we progressed through the clinic. And they were so thrilled that he was able to progress and be really calm and relaxed under saddle. So that was really fantastic. So here's another look at one of our other riding groups. And here you can see one person is working their horse on the ground and the rest are in the saddle. And that's because one of my little tests for is your horse confident and ready to be ridden is, can you do trot, canter transitions on the ground, or what happens if you send your horse over a jump. And so that particular little horse that's being lunged in the back there is a very young horse and hasn't done a whole lot. And it's not from this farm, it's trailered in. And so she's new to that and she's just getting her ready and safe. So we had a really great clinic. Here's a little fun clip at the end of the airport and the tiny little plane that we got to go in, which was super cool and fun. Hope you found that interesting. Hope you learned something, and thank you for joining me at Martha's Vineyard. See you next time.